Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a special video where we'll be looking into the important part of the new syllabus and new approach for OS prelims and mains examination. Recently, OPSC has brought some changes in the OS examination, particularly the changes has been brought in the mains pattern. In this video, I'll give you an in-depth about the changes pattern. We'll have some recommendations on that part of your preparation and all in-depth analysis about the new pattern. So how we'll be moving in this video. So there will be comparison between the old and new mains pattern of the examination, the new changes that has been brought in and incorporated by the OPSC in the OS examination, the plan of the examination which include the prelims and mains, detailed syllabus for the prelims examination. There will be a discussion on the detailed syllabus of the mains also, the newly part added. Changes in the trend of the OPSC OS examination. Here we'll be looking into the prelims and mains part, how the question paper has changed, how the pattern of question has been changing in the OPSC OS examination, and how to approach these changes, some suggestions from my end. So before I proceed, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful for your examination purposes, do press a like button. So how we'll be going in this video? First, talking about the mains exam pattern. This is the most significant changes that has been brought in by the OPSC. So there's a comparison, parallel comparison between the old syllabus and the new syllabus and the new pattern. So talking about the old one, there were compulsory paper which include the 5 paper. In that, the first paper was of Odia language, which comprises of 300 marks. Again, English, paper 2, this is of 300 marks. Paper 3, this is English essay, which is of 200 marks. And GS paper 1, this is paper 4, this is of 300 marks. And GS paper 5 for 300 marks. These are some of the compulsory papers in the old pattern, which also include the optional paper. There were 2 optional, right, which include 4 papers, and all paper has 300 marks each, right? The personality test was followed by 250 marks. Now talking about the new pattern of the mains examination has been segregated in 2 parts, that is part 1 and part 2. So please do take caution and understand what are the changes that has been incorporated. So the part 1 is a qualifying paper. Part 2 will be counted for the merits. So the qualifying papers include paper 1, that is Odia language. This is of 250 marks. Earlier it was of 300 marks. Now the English paper is again of 250 marks. Now the paper that will be counted for merit, by merit I mean the ranking will be decided from here. So paper 1 include essay, which has been included, and in this essay paper you can write this paper in English or Odia. The option for writing the language has been provided. So you can either opt for English or for Odia. So this will be for 250 marks. Followed by general studies paper. There are general studies paper 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'll give you the detail about this entire paper in the later part of the video. We'll discuss each paper one by one, and each paper comprises of 250 marks each. So these are some of the major changes that has been brought in by the OPSC in the OS examination. And the major, most significant change is the removal of one optional. So now, from now onwards, you will be only having one optional that will have 2 paper, that is paper 6 and paper 7. The total written marks will be now of 1750, and there's no changes in the personality test. This remains same for 250 marks. You can take the screenshot of this. This will give you a on-hand experience that what are the major changes that is there from the old to the new one. Now talking about the plan of examination. In this plan of examination, I'll be giving you the brief about the prelims and mains. So talking about the plan, the prelims examination, as you know, this is objective examination which select candidate for the mains examination, and the mains examination is followed by written examination, then interview for the selection of candidate for the various services and post. Talking about the prelims stage of this examination, the examinations are comprised of 2 compulsory paper, 200 each, and each paper shall be divided for 2 hour duration. Both the paper shall be objective in the nature, that is multiple choice question. And the significant part to be noted that the general studies paper 2 will be qualifying in the nature, that is you have to secure only 33% of the marks. This was all about the prelims part. Now, the detailed syllabus for the prelims examination, I think most of you must be aware about the prelims syllabus, but there are some minute changes that you must note. So, paper 1 that comprises current events of national and international importance. Second, history of India and Indian national movement. The recently added part in this paper 1 is the history of Odisha and Odia nationalism. So, this part has been recently added by the UPSC. Odisha Indian geography, that is physical geography, economy, geography of India and the world. So these part is also the newer one. Indian polity and governance was also there in the earlier old syllabus. Economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographic, social sector initiative. General issues on environment, ecology, biodiversity, climate change that do not require specialization, and the general science that is inevitable in this part. Now, talking about general studies paper 2, here is also a minute change. First, I'll proceed with the changes one. The English language and comprehension skill, which was there in the old syllabus, has been removed. The other part, that is the comprehension, interpersonal skill, logical reasoning, decision making and problem solving, general mental ability, and basic numeracy, which include data interpretation, also remained the same. So these are some of the minute changes that have been incorporated by the OPSC in the prelims part. Now, looking into the detailed syllabus of the mains examination, as I've told you in the beginning, this comprises two parts, part 1 and part 2. So we'll be looking into both part one by one. So first is the part 1, which is qualifying papers. There are two papers in the qualifying paper. First is Odia language and second is English language. In this, the paper will be broadly followed with the comprehension of the given passage, précis writing, uses and vocabularies, short essays, translation from English to Odia language, and vice versa. Now there is second paper, that is paper 2 for Indian language. The pattern of the paper will follow comprehension of the passage, précis writing, uses and vocabulary, and the short essay. These two paper comprises of 250 marks. The point to be noted, earlier this was for 300 marks. Now the changes has been brought in for 250 marks. Now the paper that will be counted for the merits. So these are the paper that will give you the ranking. The best performance has to be there in this paper. The first paper is the essay paper, where now the candidate, the aspirant, will have an options to write essay both in English or in Odia medium. This will be for 250 marks. Now the general studies paper 1, these are mostly aligned to the parameter of UPSC civil services examination, which will also provide an edge to the aspirant. If you're preparing for OPSC, parallelly you will be preparing for the UPSC as well. If general studies paper 1, taking about the entire part of the paper 1, Indian heritage, culture, Odisha heritage, culture, history, geography of the world and society, each paper comprises of 250 marks. The general studies paper 2, that is governance, constitution, polity, social justice and interstate relation, this is again for 250 marks. General studies paper 3, that is technology, economic development, biodiversity, environment, security and disaster management, this is again 250 marks. And general studies paper 4 of ethics, integrity and aptitude, this is for 250 marks. So these are similar aligned with the UPSC examination, right? So if you're preparing for OPSC, you are parallelly preparing for the UPSC as well. Now the major changes that has been brought in is single optional. You will have only one optional, that is paper 1 and paper 2, followed by each optional will have two papers. So there's one optional which has two papers, and this will have 250 marks each. So the subtotal for the written examination will be 1750, followed by the personality test of 250 marks, and the grand total for the mains examination is 2000 marks. Now some students have confusion regarding the optional that they have to opt for the mains examination. These are the list of the optional. You can check out which optional suits to you, and basically optional is a game changer in this examination, right? So make sure you opt optional paper with all caution. Now proceeding further, what are the major changes that has been brought in examination? A recap about that. So as I've told you in the beginning, there will be a single paper for the optional, which has two paper. When you have to opt only a single paper, which will have two papers, right? Now the marks for the OCS examination has been rationalized, and now candidate will have to appear for total of 2000 marks instead of 2250. So these are some of the other major changes that has been brought in. Now in essay, the candidate will have to opt and write the essay either in English or in Odia language. I'm just giving you a recap about the major changes. Now the number of attempt has also been changed. For general category, earlier there was only 4 attempts. Now this has changed to 6. Now the general UR candidate can attempt for 6. Now the social, economic and backward classes can attempt for 9. And for ST/SC, they can appear for n number of times. There is no restriction in the number of attempts, their age bar only. Now, the changing trend of OPSC OS examination, how this examination is changing. I'll be looking into the important part of prelims and mains. There will be comparison of the question paper that is being asked in the recent time. So starting with the prelims examination. So you can see these are the question paper prelims for 2022 OS prelims examination. You can see the question that is recently being asked in the OS examination is more of an analytical, right? They are not into the part of rote learning. OPSC has reformed in asking the question, which is mostly aligned towards the UPSC pattern, right? So more or less the question that is being asked is aligned, or you can say in the same parameter that is followed by the UPSC. So you can see some of the question that was asked by the OPSC. This is the question on the SEBI, that is Security and Exchange Board of India. And you can see the multiple choice questions were there, multi-statement question were there, which is mostly preferred by the UPSC. Now again, the same question on the one nation, one ration card. This is the depth of the question that OPSC is asking, which is somewhere parallel to the UPSC prelims examination, right? And the other question also, you can see the comparison for the polity. This is all questions from the OS OPSC examination. In polity also, the question, the level of the question has been escalated. This is more about the conceptual clarity of the topic, right? The question that was also followed by the Rajya Sabha has also asked the in-depth. So you need to have a standard source to cope up with the prelims examination as well. Now I'll show you some of the questions that was asked in the UPSC CSC prelims examination for this year. You can compare both of the questions. The level is somewhere equivalent, right? Like these are the questions from the Indian polity. If you have read M. Lakshmikant well, then you will be easily able to cope up with the questions. So you can compare the question on Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. This is the question which is from the current affairs, that is software as a services. This was there in the news. So contemporary question which is being asked by the UPSC is more or less inclined towards the conceptual clarity of the particular topic. So these are the two question comparison that will give you an idea that how exactly the question is being asked. Now moving towards the trend that is changing in the mains examination as such. So first about the OPSC OS mains examination, the question level is somewhere static, and even that is more or less towards analytical of the part. So you can see the examine the nature of judicial review in the system in India. There was a lot talk about the judicial review and the judicial reform. As far as judicial activism is also concerned, there was a lot of news that was reported. So you need to have a caution on the part of the newspaper. So these are the questions that mostly is being asked in the OS examination. Now examine the provisions of Article 356 of the Indian Constitution. Governor of the state is the light bird in the golden cage. Again, these are the questions that give you an idea that how analytical approach need to be there. So this is for the GS paper 1. This is on the old pattern of the OPSC OS examination mains. The second paper, you can see the question that was asked on the contemporary current affairs, which include explain how India nuclear doctrine is relevant to the challenges in the current times. These type of question is mostly asked in the UPSC, right? The pattern that is being followed is somewhere closely related to the UPSC examination. Again, some question with regards to economy. Explain how far investment abroad is strengthening the Indian economy. Assess the impact of economic liberalization of 1991 and occupational structure in India. So you can see the question. I'll just other part of the video will include the UPSC mains examination. So these are the question for CSC mains. Here again, the question was asked. Even you can find the question much simpler that was asked in the OPSC. The role of Vice President of India and as a chairman of the Rajya Sabha. These were the question of current mains, that is for 2022. Discuss the role of the National Commission for Backward Classes in the wake of the transforming from statutory body to the constitutional body. So these are some of the important questions. So I'm just giving you a comparison analysis for the question that was asked in the OPSC and that is asked in the UPSC. So there's not much difference. So make sure the level of the competition is on the higher side and you have to always refer to a standard sources. Now comparing the question from the General Studies paper 3, elaborate the scope and significance for the food processing industry in India. These are the questions. And each year, the large amount of plant material cellulose are deposited on the plant. The natural process of this cellulose undergo yield carbon dioxide, water, and end product. So if you're reading, if a basic conceptual clarity is clear and your contemporary issues are also relevant, you are known about the fact, then you can supplement your answer with the static portion as well as the current portion. So these are the changes pattern for the prelims and mains examination. Now the big question here is that how you need to approach these changes as a candidate, as an aspirant for OPSC, OS examination, be it if you're preparing also for the civil services examination, how you need to approach, because this approach is very important, which will give you an edge over the examination and also make you prepare about the UPSC as well. So the first and foremost thing that you have to study the standard study material that is both equivalent for either OPSC OS examination or UPSC examination. Strengthening your foundation and the concept will be again very important. I'm not mentioning any standard sources book because every one of you must be aware of the books and the sources. So I'm not letting you other wastage of the time. So make sure you are always referring to the standard study material. Refer standard books. Emphasis on the current affairs and contemporary issues relating them is very important, right? So you need to practice also how you will relate. Once you practice a good number of questions, both in prelims and mains, that will give you an edge. Revision is the key. Whatever notes you are making, if you have handwritten notes, if you're revising through a book, make sure you revise it. Read one book several times rather than reading 10 books one time. Now the mock test is again very significant. This is an edge that makes you success. This decide upon the level of success that you're getting. So prelims and mains, both mock test is very important, right? So you need to have a right approach to practice the question both from prelims as well as for the mains examination. Now, how Apti Plus will help you to chase your target. So the best guidance can lead to the success. This is the only key mantra for the success. And Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services will help you to through the journey of OPS and OS examination. So we have a track record and I'm delighted to share this information that for this year, rank 1, rank 2 and rank 4 was backed by Apti Plus student. We have a total selection of 305 plus. So this make the institute inevitable towards the success of the student, and this call for a dedicated attitude where we endeavor to put you through the success and give you the right guidance. We have an initiative where we are coming with the prelims and mains test series. So OPSC prelims test series for 2022. This comprises of 50 high quality tests, which is followed by special accurate study material design as per the latest OPSC syllabus 24/7. 365 availability is there, 360 coverage of the static and current affairs question. It's very important to practice good number of questions, and there's no other way than practicing a test series from the Apti Plus Academy. We have mains test series also. This test series will be, there will be test with the model answer, evaluation and feedback for each test, exclusive study material for OS mains, online support for the working professional. 10 tests are there. There are a number of tests. Accordingly, you can choose. There's option of 10 tests, 15 tests, test with that discussion classes, and 4 NOS optional, right? So they're limited seat. You can enroll. For more details, you can contact to this number and get enroll yourself. Now, we have also launched a study material, a comprehensive guide for Odisha Civil Services Mains Examination. This is compiled as per the new pattern and the new approach that will help you to get an edge over the examination. The comprehensive book that is something designed to ensure for the larger success of the student and the broader coverage of the syllabus. So this was all about for this video. If you like this video, do not forget to share this video with your friends. Do like this video. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.